a suspect. Hanging with the killers in the projects. Taylor on a barrel, keep quiet. Catch a nigga slipping from behind. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. Put nigga out like an outbreak. Chopper start to make the house shake.
Hey my loves, it's me Keisha and I am here with the brand new All Tea All Shade Love and Marriage DC Season 1 Episode 10 review. So tonight's episode was the season finale. This was a phenomenal season finale. It gave me all the feels, all of what I wanted and needed from not only a reality show, but for a season finale episode. I'm going to save my grade for the overall season for the end of this video. But before I get into my review, you guys, I have some great, fantastic news. My film, Paper Heart, is not only available to stream on Tubi, but it is now available for streaming on Peacock. Yes, you guys, Peacock. I am so elated about this. This is huge news. So if you have or if you have not saw my first feature film, Paper Heart, starring Don from Black Ink Crew Chicago, Yada, who is signed to Maybach Music Group, and my two lovely female leads, Kristen and Robin Rose. It is a phenomenal film. If you're looking for a great love story with drama, honey, that ain't all ghetto, but got a little taste of ghetto in it, check out Paper Heart, available right now on Tubi and Peacock. Now let's get into tonight's review. Okay, you guys, so the episode starts off the following day after the dinner from hell with Kevin and Winter. Winter is surprisingly still there. I thought Monique made it clear to everybody that she was only going to come for the sex therapy class, but apparently she ended up staying anyway because everybody, I guess, is cool now. So Monique has an IV therapy session set up for everybody because, you know, everybody has been drinking heavily and she wants to, you know, refuel everybody, get some fluids and things into their system. So while doing their IVs, Ashley makes a suggestion that they play a game. So she runs up to her room and she gets this game called That's So You. And the game is basically about your friends or family or whomever basically saying what they think about you and like what equates to you. So I forgot what the first question was, but whatever it was, Tasha ended up saying that, you know, Neil was her first or whatever, and Ashley was like, so he's the only person you ever been with? And she was like, no, like, you know, we broke up here and there, whatever, we had all the issues. And Neil admits to, you know, in the past getting caught cheating, you know, when they were young and first starting out. And then Quick joins into the conversation and admits that he too cheated in the beginning of their relationship. And Ashley was like, yeah, I cheated too. We weren't serious. We weren't together. We weren't living with each other. But then he says, well, after you moved in and after we had our first baby, you know, I did have a little indiscretion or whatever. She like, excuse you, what you say? I don't remember this, don't know nothing about this. So you cheated on me after I moved in? And he was like, yeah, babe, you knew about that. And she was like, no, I did not. So you could tell like her heartbeat was racing, like, what the fuck? And I'm looking like, oh Lord, here we go. But I'm like, at the end of the day, this was 20 years ago, 15 years ago. I mean, it is what it is at this point. So Ashley was like, no, I remember telling you that I was texting somebody else and you got so mad at me. She was like, but I do not remember you telling me that you were messing with somebody else. And he brings up who the girl was. And she was like, we weren't even living with each other at the time. And Quick was like, she lying, but it's cool. And everybody gets quiet. And Ashley looking at him like, did you really just call me a lie, motherfucker? Like in front of everybody. And I'm looking like, oh Lord, you done fucked up. You know you done fucked up, don't you? You know you done fucked up. He realizes that he done fucked up. Ashley is pissed and mad at this point because you can tell she feels blindsided and embarrassed in front of everybody because she's been fighting with Winter all season about him allegedly cheating on her. And so now you're confirming everything that Winter has pretty much said. Because remember, at the dinner the night before, Winter kept on saying, you don't know, you don't know. Like, you sure you don't know? And I'm like, oh my stars. This is not going well for you, Mr. Quickster. So Ashley once again reiterates that they weren't together, and if he ever did play her, trust and believe she got her lick back, because she don't play about that. And I just feel like the whole thing was blown out of proportion. And even if she was blindsided by the news, I would have just waited till we was one-on-one and demiked, or waited till we got home to address this. Because if it did bother you, like I said, address it when you get home. Because I personally would have been like, oh, really? But I wouldn't have even been tripping, because it was how many years ago? It was like 20-something years ago. So I wouldn't even really cared. But Ashley is entitled to her feelings, but I just wouldn't have blew it up in front of everybody and even gave Winter the satisfaction of even thinking that she got one up on me. You know what I'm saying? But that's just the petty bitch in me. So later on that night, Ashley and Quick host a costume party. Everybody dresses up as their fave celebrities. So we see Jamie as Jay-Z, Arena is Beyonce. Yes, ma'am, you better be a part of the Beehive. Monique is Little Kim. Chris is Baby Baby. Biggie Smalls. Ashley is Tina Turner. Quick is Ike. Tasha is Erykah Badu. She killed it. Neil was Andre 3000, and Winter, I guess because she wasn't supposed to be there, ends up coming in like, what in the hell is going on? She is not dressed or prepared. So they tell her she gonna be Yolanda Adams. The sound of the rain. Is that the song? What was the song? I dedicate my heart to you. What was the song in the early 2000s? I can't remember, but they used to be my shit. I used to sing the fuck out that song back in the day. But anywho, so Ashley is still in her fifi. She's still feeling some type of way about what Quick said in front of everybody. And Quick is steady trying to get on her good side, and she is just not having it. Ashley tells the group that she just overall feels that he shouldn't have even brought something like that up that happened years ago. But like I said, I just feel like it happened years ago. So why are we even mad and upset? But whatever. So I really feel like it played more into the fact that Winter had been accusing him of being a cheater this whole time. And now she's blindsided about some shit. So it goes back to everything that Winter was saying, that you don't know information about your husband like you think you do. So Quick in his confessionals was like, but I just want to know, what does lick back mean? And Ashley says, when you hurt me, I hurt you. But I was just joking. Hee hee ha ha. I just wanted to hurt his feelings, and I did. And Quick was like, okay. That's a recipe for disaster. And she said it was a joke, but come on, sis, you was not joking. You was not joking at all. You wanted to hurt him because he hurt and embarrassed you. And that's a recipe for disaster. As soon as you start doing that tit for tat shit, you are going to sink, because you're going to do tit for tat shit and try to one up the other. And next thing you know, y'all done hurt each other so badly, it's going to be unrepairable. So that's a dangerous game to play. And I wouldn't even do that. It's better ways to handle hurt feelings and conflict. So Ashley proposes the question, if you met your spouse today, would you marry them? And Quick was like, you know what? And she was like, I'm not talking to you. Baby, that man shut up so fast. I was like, well, we know who runs the pants and who wears the pants in this house. And it is obviously Miss Ashley. Ashley is wearing the Dickies. Ashley is wearing the gray sweatpants, baby. Ashley is wearing the Armani Exchange trousers. Ashley is wearing the Amiri jeans, darling. You cannot tell me Ashley don't run that house and with a tight fist. That little man is scared of her. She looked like she would Donkey Kong whoop Quick's ass. It was at that point that Quick decided I better just sit back and shut the fuck up. And I was like, good idea. Chris decides to go first with his answer. And I'm like, dude, just be smart and say yes. Undoubtedly yes. Because if you answer any other way, an argument is going to ensue. But Kristen had a couple of drinks. He on his, big papa, baby, type shit. So he says, Monique can be difficult. She's very demanding, and at times she can be controlling. All of which we will agree upon. But I wouldn't have it any other way. There is no one else I've ever felt this way about, and he should have left it right there. But he continues to ramble and says, even my college sweetheart, she was special. And Monique looks and was like, nobody asked about her. And so Ashley jumps in and was like, I don't even know why y'all keep bringing up stuff from 20 years ago. Chris sees that she's upset and quickly apologizes. And I'm like, I understood why she felt some type of way, because I'm your wife. We've been together for over 10 years. I have your children. I take care of you, our home. I'm the one that you decided to put the ring on. Do not compare me to anybody else. Even though I don't think Chris meant any harm in what he was about to say, nobody wants to be compared to your other love. Especially, we don't even know the background on it. It could be the situation where his family may have wanted him to end up with her and not Monique. Remember, Monique and his mama never got along. It could be some shit where the mama co-signed the girlfriend and didn't co-sign her. Like, it's just certain things you just don't bring up, because if the roles were reversed and she was like, I love you and I wouldn't want to be with nobody else, even my college sweetheart, and he was special, like, you'd be looking at her like, what the fuck? And I think that a lot of the viewers have gotten really down on Monique and hard on Monique because of the nagging and complaining. And it has wore me thin. It has. I'm not going to even sit up there and lie. But on the same note, we don't know what their everyday lives have looked like over the past 10 years. The shit that we see her saying on this show could very well be the same shit she'd been begging for and pleading for and asking for 10 years, and it still has not changed. I mean, at this point, it's either shit and get off the pot. Like, you either gonna continue to ask and beg and complain, or you gonna do something about it, which would be to separate, take a break, something. It's obvious she don't want to do that, but this shit just ain't coming out of nowhere. And she said it on the show that she's been asking for these changes for years and nothing has happened. So she is getting to a point where she's at her wit's end. And if he does not make these necessary changes, she is going to eventually leave him. And it's going to be too little too late. We've all been in situations with men where we have asked, pleaded, begged, cried, went all over the mulberry bush trying to get them to change behaviors that we need in order for this relationship to function. And they'll say, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna work on it, and then shit don't ever change. And you get fucking tired. You know what I'm saying? Hell, I'm pretty sure she tired of herself whining and nagging over this nigga. But anywho, so Monique then goes to answer the question, and she was like, no, I feel like the paperwork complicated us. I feel like we were more fun back then. And if we could have just been lovers, spiritual partners, still have the family and all of that, great. But the paperwork really, kind of screwed us up. Chris, of course, is hurt by this answer. And it would have hurt me too if my spouse would have answered no. But I think with or without the paperwork, there would have still been these issues. So I don't even agree with her answer, because the things that you have been complaining about ain't got nothing to do with the paperwork. It's about emotional availability and understanding that you're asking for from him and you're not getting it. So, then we go to Irena and Jamie. Of course, they say yes. Jamie ain't no fool. Jamie is not going down that rabbit hole. He was like, ain't no need to debate. Yep, we'll do it. No doubt about it. And I was like, my man, you ain't no dummy. Come on, brother. Then we go to Ashley, and Ashley says, no. I've taken 20 years of my life to help raise and mold this man, and I have gotten the short end of the stick a lot in our marriage, and I want to make me happy and do for me. And I was not shocked by her answer, because even when I interviewed her, she had the same sentiments, and you can tell during her marriage that she had lost a sense of who she was because she was so focused on helping him grow his career and take care of their family that she put herself on the back burner, and she's tired of that. She wants to live out her dreams and her fantasies and have all of the desires of her heart come true, and she wants to step into the spotlight because one thing you cannot deny about Ashley is that she has star quality. Her wit, she's funny, she's quick on the draw, she's a nice looking woman. She has star quality written on her, and it's at the right time in her life, I feel, that she's getting her chance to step into the spotlight. You could tell Quick was hurt by it, but he understood where she was coming from. And he was like, yes, for all the reasons you just said is why I would marry you again. Before I met you, I didn't know what unconditional love was. All my life, every person came with a condition. As long as I could do something for them, they were there. And as soon as I couldn't, they all were gone. You came to my house and sat in my basement. And I remember looking you in your eyes as I'm looking you in your eyes right now. And I said, why are you here? Ooh, this is some shit out of a movie, honey. Yes. And he was like, and you said, and Ashley, gets timid like a little girl and was like, I just like being around you, because, it took her back. And Quick was like, you said, I just like being around you and I feel like you need somebody. And he was like, I knew right then and there that when I was ready to be married, that you would be my wife. That was some beautiful shit. And he was like, and I love you. And she was like, okay, you forgiven. I was like, I know that's right. I know that's right. If he ever want to get out the doghouse, that's all he got to say. Because that's some real shit. And I get where Ashley's coming from because so many times as women, we meet these men that are like broken birds with broken wings. And we just want to love them and fix them and let them know that they have somebody in their corner that's going to ride for them and be there for them. And we give so much of our love and our support to them and help build them up. And then at the end of the day, once they got their shit together, you looking to then be replenished, and you've been so busy focusing on them and making them the priority that a lot of times it's not reciprocated back. And it's not in a malicious way. It's because you've trained and spoiled them that it's all about you, that they never were required to focus on their spouse and give to them in return what you've given them. So I get where Ashley's coming from. So Monique and the fam end up going horseback riding. And I love the fact that she shouted out that her daughter Milani was wearing Ashley's kids clothing line, Fashion Ashton. That was really dope and really nice of her to do because she didn't have to do that. And she and Chris discussed the question, if you met your spouse now, would you still marry them? Because obviously it affected Chris and it bothers him. And Monique, he asked her again, like, would you still answer it that way? And she was like, I really don't know if I would marry you again, because, if I was presented with the man that, I have and everything that I've asked for and all of that stuff, like, no. And so she then brings up the fact that, he compared her to his ex in front of everybody and how it was embarrassing. And he goes to explain himself once again, and he makes the comparison again. I don't think that Chris means any harm. I just think that Chris isn't very aware of his words, you know what I'm saying, and how they could possibly hurt somebody like Monique, because it's obvious that Monique is very intentional. She listens to everything you say, and she's one of those people that are going to hold you to your words. So you need to be careful with your wording. So Monique was like, see, there you go again, like comparing me. And he admits that when she calls him out on his bullshit, that he gets defensive, which is the wrong way to go about things. And this goes back into everything that she says about him and his attitude. Like, you can't get mad at me because I speak up for myself and tell you when I feel like you've hurt me. You can't then turn it back on me and get mad at me. Like, the fuck kind of shit is that? And he was like, I'm going to work on it or whatever. But at some point, and I feel like Monique is at that point now, At some point, you get tired of hearing a motherfucker say, I'm going to work on it. I'll figure it out. Like, she probably been hearing this shit for 10 years, y'all, and she's sick and tired of hearing that I'm gonna work on this shit. Cause like, how many more years you gonna need to work on it? Like, you've heard me ask her these things 10 million motherfucking times, and you have not done anything about it. And like, I'm sick of waiting on you to make these changes in order for us to work. And so Monique starts to cry. And I teared up. I started crying because you can tell like that really, truly hurt her. Really, truly hurt her. And she tells him, that hurt my feelings. And in her confessional, she says, in our marriage, I feel very insignificant. I feel like I'm always trying to prove myself. And that's pretty much been my life. And present day, when she's sitting on Chris' lap, she says, then when I bring up stuff, I'm being a nag. So it's like she can't win for losing in this situation. And like I said, we don't know what the situation was with the ex in the past. It could have been the family favorite on his side. They could have wanted him to end up with her, didn't like Monique, his mama didn't like her or whatever. And then I understood what she was saying with, I feel like I always got to prove myself, because she's an attractive woman. He's the quote unquote big guy, heavy set, to some probably not that attractive or whatever. But I don't think Chris is an ugly guy at all. But I think it's sort of like the Beauty and the Beast syndrome, where people are looking at it where she gotta be with him for the money. She just gotta be. So she comes into the situation having to do more and go overboard to prove to everybody, even probably including him, that she is genuinely there because she wants to be with him and she loves him. So now I gotta prove to you that I ain't with you for your money and for who you are. Then I gotta prove it to your mama, your family. Now I gotta prove it to the world. So if I say something, I'm just looking like I'm a nag and I'm a complainer, and that I just want to see and find everything wrong with you. So I guess because you got money and are the quote unquote breadwinner of the family, I'm just supposed to sit back and not say shit. And I just supposed to be complicit and not say a damn word. I don't think so. That's not how life goes. But on the flip side of it, I will say that at this point, Monique, stop complaining about it if you ain't gonna leave him. If you ain't gonna fucking leave him, stop complaining about the shit and deal with it. Or you're gonna have to put your motherfucking foot down and really scare the shit out of his ass in order to get him to fucking change. Because I personally believe that Monique does love Chris, and that she's there because she wants to be there. Because let's face it, at this point, if she didn't want to be there no more, she can leave. They've been married over 10 years. She got 3 kids by this man. I don't know if they got a prenuptial agreement or not, but she gonna leave with something, child. She gonna leave with something. So if it was about a bag, she would have been dipped. Okay, then we go to Lil Jamie, Irena and Jamie's son, and we find out that the night before, he creeps into their bedroom and lets them know that he got a court hearing the next day. Apparently, he got locked up back in 2021 for having a weapon and narcotics on him. And before they head off to court that morning, Jamie and Irena stressed to him to tell his lawyer to really push to the judge about all the good he's been doing since he originally got locked up, how he's kept a job, how, he's working for one of his father's friends, he's kept out of trouble, and all of these things. Baby, I would have been pissed the fuck off if my child come in my room the night before telling me he got court. Well, nigga, you got court, I don't. See you when you get back if you come back. Like, don't play with me. Do not play with me. These kids are crazy. So, Irena, in her confessional, confesses that her father was a hustler, and that he was mentally and physically abusive to her mother and ended up going to jail when she was a very, very small little girl. So he ended up dying in prison. So she never got to give a proper goodbye or any of those things. And knowing that now makes me see why Irena is the way she is, and how and why she probably ended up with a man like Jamie, because certain aspects of him probably do remind her of her father, like with the dominance and the anger and stuff like that, without the abuse. Because we as women, we tend to marry our fathers. Let's just keep it a buck. Or we tend to date men that do remind us of our fathers, because they're our first representation of a man and our first true love, as little girls. So that explained a lot for me. So, unfortunately, when they went to court, they found out that little Jamie's case had been moved up to the circuit court, which means that he might have to do mandatory jail time. So his lawyer just proceeds to tell him to stay on the straight and narrow, continue to do good. And it's basically like they starting all over again, because the circuit court is the highest court in their state. So it's not looking good, but hopefully, prayerfully, things work out for the young man and he's able to learn from this experience and to get his life on track and to not do it again. So then it's the day of Ashley's book launch. All of her family and friends are there. The decor and everything was on point, so pretty. Winter is invited, which is a good step, even though they aren't really on good terms right now. Monique and Chris arrive. Monique is still in her feelings, child, over everything that they have recently gone through. Irena and Jamie show up, and as always, Irena shows up and shows the fuck out. I love that gold lame ruche dress. One thing about Irena, honey, Irena is going to channel Black Barbie. She is going to give you a Black Barbie ensemble and shut it the fuck down. Too much is never enough. She's always going to slay the room. And I live for it, because I'm the same way. I'm gonna put this shit on, honey, and ain't nobody gonna tell me shit about it. Tasha loved her look with the Cleopatra like wig that she had on, the cutout dress, skin popping. She looked stunning. Ashley looked really pretty. I loved her like Barbie doll, Bridget Bardot inspired hairstyle and the puff sleeve, sweetheart neckline dress. It was so flattering on her shape. She looked beautiful. Monique looked really pretty. Loved it. So after announcing her book and the cover, which was really nice, Quick surprises her and he proposes to her, you guys. He gives her the proposal that she always deserved. When she was on my channel and I interviewed her, she told me the story about how he proposed to her, which was really cute and funny. You can go check that out on my interview with Ashley. So she was much deserving of this, and he surprised her with a brand new ring, which was really beautiful. Their children were involved in it, and then he had Tank, one of my favorite R&B singers of all time, perform for her, which was everything, honey. If I was Ashley, I would have dropped my drawers right then and there, honey, because you wouldn't be able to tell me shit. Irena and Jamie went into the bathroom, had them a little quickie, sticky. I can't wait to find out if they really did it or if they just went there to go wash their hands because they was about to eat. Like, I need proof, goddammit. And then this season ended. Overall, I will give season 1 of Love and Marriage DC, as far as a grade, overall, I'm going to give the show, an A-, borderlining a B+. And this is why. Because I love the storylines with Irena and Jamie and their family, seeing the dynamics with their children, their marriage, the things that they have going on. I loved it. I felt like the season started off really strong with their storylines. I really feel like in the beginning of the season, the Tylers pretty much carried the show. Then when winter came in, it really spiced things up. And then we got the drama. For a few episodes there in the middle, I want to say probably 6, 7, and 8, it kind of died down a little bit. Things got a little slow there for a second, and it came a little bit repetitive. And that's why I'm going to give it like an A-, B+. But then these last 2 episodes, episode 9 and 10, for me were the best episodes so far of the season, because tonight's episode was just overall everything that you would want in a reality show. You had life lessons that needed to be addressed. You had familial problems. You had marital issues. You had the women coming together and having a good time. You had romance. You had laughter. You had all the ingredients for a great reality show in this season finale. I laughed. I cried. I was like, ooh, on certain moments. It was everything that I wanted. You had the glitz, the glamour, all of it. So this was a strong season, I will say that. But like I said, for those few episodes, it kind of died down for me. Next season, if they get a season 2, which I'm fairly confident they will, I want to see more of Jamie. I want to see more of Ashley and Quick's home life with their children, with their family. I want to see more of that because we really didn't get a chance to see them with their kids, see them in their home. I would love to see more of that. Next season for Monique and Chris, I want to see them come back fresh, have dealt with these issues over the hiatus, come in being more fun, seeing more of their home life with the children, what they got going on. I want to see Chris have something going on for himself outside of being a stay-at-home dad and a cheerleader for Monique. With Jamie and Arena, I want to see more of what we got this season from them. But I want for Jamie to be more open next season because I feel like we got that from Irena, but we really didn't get that from him. I would even love to see more of their businesses be shown. Would love that. Now, with Winter, I want Winter to continue to do whatever the fuck she been doing. And even more because Winter brought the storm. Winter was the spice that was needed. But I also feel like there needs to be somebody else or another couple brought into the equation to add more spice. We need more conflict because I feel like Monique, Irena, and Ashley came into the season really not trying to beef or start nothing. Ashley's the type that's going to finish it, as well as Irena, and I feel like Monique too. But I felt like they were really trying to be, good girlfriends, good Judys. And we want that. Don't get me wrong. But in order for a reality show to work, there has to be conflict. And Winter can't be the only conflict on the show. She can't be the antagonist of the show and everybody else are the protagonists. We need somebody else to get in there and ruffle some feathers. I would love to see more of Tasha and Neil. Y'all know I love them. They're my favorite couple. They're so funny, so real. Would have loved to see more of them. Hopefully they are able to come back next season and we get to see more of them. If they're not asked back, like I said, we need somebody else that's going to get in there and play in the mud. That's what we need next season. I also have a quick look at the reunion looks. Let's take a look at the picture. I have to say this is probably one of the most best dressed reunions I've ever witnessed with reality television. I'm going to break down my best and worst looks on next week reunion part 1. I myself will be dressing up with a little razzle dazzle. You know how I do on reunions. Can't wait for that. I've reached out to the girls to do interviews. I'll let you know what I have coming up on that end because I can't wait to get more behind the scenes tea on everything that has transpired so far with season 1. Let's talk down below in the comment section. You guys, let me know how you all felt about tonight's episode. What do you grade the overall first season of Love and Marriage DC? And would you like to see a season 2 of this show? Also, you guys, as far as my Keisha capsule collection goes, we only have 2 of the looks left, and that is this Cruel Summer set and the Color Me Pynk dress. If you are a size 3X, we only have sizes 3X's left, and you can get both outfits for the price of $169 plus my discount code of 20%, which is Color Me Pynk 20 or Pink 20. And like I said, you can get both of these looks for only $169. You cannot beat that. Both of these looks are fire, dumb fire, and they will never go out of style. So if you would like to cop these 2 looks for only $169 plus 20% off, head over to prettygirlparlor.com and order yours now. The links will be down below in the description box. I love you guys. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. I love you, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.